तीनहुलो कहा देखा भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करो गुरुदेव पवन पुत्र हनुमान की पवन पुत्र हनुमान की महावीर स्वामी की नास है रोग हरि सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ज्ञान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवाले असुर निकंदन राम दुआरे जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई ओम नमो हनुमते नमः। अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दास तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई अंत काल रघुपति पुर जारी जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त काई और देवता चित नार रहे हनुमत से ही सार्व सुख रहे संकट हरे अमिते सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई या सत बार पाठ कर कोई छुट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह परे हनुमान चालीसा कोई असली सहाती गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महाधीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई पवन तनय संकट हरणम मंगल मूर्ति रो राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसौ सुरभो हृदय बसौ सुरभो हृदय बसौ सुरभो। बोले पवन हनुमान की महावीर स्वामी की। This evening katha is taken from the golden pages of the Sri Ram Charitramanas. Otherwise, we journey to our beautiful katha, my dear devotees. Let us join in salutations firstly to the sacred Ramayana. Varananam ratasanganam rasanam chandrasamapi mangalanam chakartaro vande vani vinayako. Om Ramaye Ramachandraye Ramabhadraya Vedase Raghunataya Nataya Sitaye Pataye Namaha. Jihi sumirata siddhi hoye Gananayaka kari varavarana ahanu anu grahasoy godhira se shubha gunasayana. बंदो गुरु परकन जाके पासिंदु नररूप हरे मोहा तमपू salutations to the Holy Ramayana. We offer salutations to the lotus-like feet of our Gurus this evening. Salutations to our Gurus. It is said that the Guru is the one to lead us to Mukti, to Moksha. Salutations to the Divine. Sri Guru Charana Sarora Rijamana Mugo Rasudan Barano Vimalaya cha Jodayaka Balacha Bonahina Tanuja Nike Sumiro Pava Nakuman Balaburi Vedya Devo Mohi Adahutale Jai Rama Shri Rama Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Ram Shri Rama Jaya Rama Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Ram सियापति रामचंद्र की जय उमापति महादेव की जय वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय ओदेसा जगन्नाथ की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय सियापति रामचंद्र की जय शरणम श्री राम जय जय श्री राम everybody Sri Ram Jai Sri Ram. My dear devotees and bhaktas, once more again swagatam to all those joining with us at our mandir and to all those joining with us via our live stream this evening. My dear devotees and bhaktas, a beautiful katha taken from the golden pages of the Holy Ramayana, teaching us about the power, the greatness, the glory of the Divine Mother. I've chosen to journey to Ramcharitamanas to bring this beautiful message about devotion and the power and greatness of Durga Ma at the very beginning of our yajna. Why? To reassure everyone who may have doubts in their minds about the power and the greatness of Durga Ma. Or to remind everybody how great this Devi worship and puja is, my dear friends. This evening, Goswami Tulsidas Ji tells to us, Bhagwan Shri Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman Ji, Jamwant, they are all in Lankapuri. They're in Lankapuri and a battle is about to take place between Shri Ram and his army against Ravana and his army. But the brother of Ravana is on the opposite side. He's in the side of Shri Ram. For those who are familiar with Ramcharitamanas, Bibhishan, the brother of Ravana, was placed at the entrance in a little kutia out of the palace of Lanka to live. Why? Because he was a devotee of Shri Ram. Many times in today's world, because we choose to worship God, we are cast as a different type of people. Isn't that so? We are treated differently. We may be called names. But once you know what you are doing is the right thing, my dear friends, you do that. Bhagwan Shri Krishna in Bhagavad, he says, Dharma rakshite rakshite dharma. Those who protect dharma and stand for dharma, dharma will protect you. So Vibhishan was treated like this. Vibhishan told to Hanumanji, I am like the tongue between the teeth in Lanka. But he never gave up in his worship to God. And today he is now on the side of Sri Ram, battling against the Rakshas. But Ravana, my dear devotees and bhaktas, was a great devotee. Despite he's a Rakshas. This may sound strange, right? He was a great devotee of God. Ravana was known as a great bhakta of Bhagwan Shiva. And the one who worships Shiva also worships whom? Devi Maya. Because wherever there is Shiva, there is Durga. And wherever there is Durga, there is Shiva. And so, as Ravana, a great devotee of Lord Shiva, he had prayed to Bhagwan Shiva before the commencement of the battle. And while praying to Lord Shiva, he had asked Bhagwan Shankar for the blessings of Parvati Maya. Parvati is who? Durga Devi. And he had asked for her protection whilst on the battlefield. Being a devotee to God, even though he was a Rakshas, he was granted that boon because his devotion was pure. We may be a Rakshas in today's world, but our devotions should still be pure to the feet of God, my dear friends. Never judge anyone. Everybody is devotees of Bhagwan. We may worship God differently or in a different form, but we worship God. And here, Ravana received a boon from Devi Ma that no one will be able to destroy him. Once he called upon the divine Shakti or energy of the Devi. And so as Ravana goes to the battlefield, Ravana begins to pray. With clasped hands together, he begins to pray. Imagine tonight a Rakshas goes to the battlefield and he is praying. How many of us, when we go out in today's world, which is described as the battlefield, we pray? How many of us, when we leave our homes in the morning, we just pray? Jai Bhagwan, be too busy and but get a flat tire in the road, you go see how fast you go pray. Ravana is teaching each and every one of us that when we go into this battlefield that is called life, put God first. He begins to pray to Devi Ma. Oh, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Durga Rupena Samsita Namastasyai 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 Namo Nama. Everybody. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Gauri Rupena Namastasyai Namastasyai. Katha says, when Ravan went to the battlefield, he prayed to the top of his voice. And imagine he's a Rakshas. And we are devotees of God and we sit in here and Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Durga came here, you're good. A little bit louder. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samsita Namastasyai Namastasyai. Jai Durga Ma. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Kali Mata Rupena Samsita Namastasyai Namastasyai. As he prays to the Divine Mother, Ma, may you protect me as I go to this battlefield. The Devi will protect any of her children. She would always protect you. But, my dear friends, if your actions are dharmic, as much as she protects you, she would even bring what? Your destruction. And so as he prays, and as Ram releases the first arrow, and it goes to Ravana, splits Ravana into two, my dear friends, what takes place? Goswami Tulsidas tells to us, Hari ho Rama milan kab hoye, ang savala ge rahe. Hari ho Rama milan kab hoye, ang savala ge rahe. Hari ho Rama milan kab hoye, ang savala ge rahe. पति तु धरणी रावण जानवी, पतित धरणी रावण जरणी, रामगिरी वर मंदिता हो रामगिरी वरी मंदिता, अंग सवा लाग रहे. हरि हो. Dear friends, as he releases the arrow and the arrow hits Ravan, Ravan splits in two. And everybody begins to shout for what? For victory. But as they shout for victory, Ravan is protected by who? Devi Maya. Om Chamundaye Vichay Namaha. The body comes back together into one. It sounds impossible. But when and where there is prayer with love and devotion, my dear friends, even the impossible becomes possible, my dear devotees. And so he releases the next arrow. Om Chamundaya Vichay Namaha. Splitting the body of Ravan. Chamundaya Vichay Namaha. The body comes back together. Ravan is amazed. So powerful is Ravan. Ram looks at Hanumanji. He looks at Jamwan. He even looks at Bibhishan. And he says, so powerful is this Ravan. And as he says this, my dear devotees and bhaktas, Bibhishan, with a smile in his face, with clasped hands together, he says, Suno Rama, Bhajana Bhava Bari. What he says, Katha tells to us this evening. Tabachala akarayena nipatitema, Tabachala anakamayeni patahima, Para Rama Padama, O Para Rama Parama, Ang Sava lag rahe. Hari ho Rama milan kab hoye, Ang Sava lag rahe. Hari ho Rama milan kab hoye, Ang Sava lag rahe. Pray Jagadamba Mata ki. Bibhishan tells to Ram, O Rama, with clasped hands, Suno, listen, Ram. Ravan prayed to Devi Maya, and he's protected by the energy of the Divine Mother. Sometimes we see people in today's world doing the most wrong thing, but yet they are most protected. Because they may do the most wrong things in our eyes, but praise from their hearts. And so, Bibhishan says, Ram, there's only one thing you could do. Listen, O Rama. Pray to Devi Maya. Surrender to her. Invite her presence into your arrow. So when you release the arrow, O Ram, the Devi will go with the arrow. And that Devi will bring his destruction, because the Devi cannot protect the Devi. Isn't that so? That energy will clash together, that Shakti, and bring the destruction of Ravan. But Ram, he asked, how should I worship this Devi? How should I worship her when I am here in Lanka? I have nothing to give to her. I have nothing to give to this Devi. How should I worship her? Many times we ask the same question. How should I worship the Devi? We may not have ghee. We may not have a Devi Murti. We may not have ingredients to make prasad. We may not have samagri. Then how should we worship the Devi? Then should we not worship Devi? I'm sure there are many devotees this evening joining with us. And wherever they are in the world this evening, they may not have neem leaves or arahu flower or a place to offer dhar or hawan or such devotion. Then what? Should you not worship Devi? How would you worship her? Yes, how should I worship the Devi? And Bibhishan says, simply offer your love to the Devi. Simply offer your love to the feet of Devi Ma. And whatever is available to you, Ram, offer that. Simply offer that. There are many people who say if you don't have coconut to offer to Durga, then Jai Bhagwan, you will get Durga Darshan. And if you don't make Rapsi and Suhari, then you will get no blessing from Durga Maya. And if you didn't make Devi Dhar, Jai Shri Ram. Whatever you have, my dear friends, offer it to the Devi. If it's one flower, if it's one neem leaf, if you have simple water alone, my dear friends, offer it to the Devi. And if you have nothing at all, offer yourself to the feet of Devi Ma. But do it with love and good intentions. And Ram remembers, his guru would have mentioned that the one who wants to invite the presence of Devi Ma and to reap their heart's desire should offer, my dear devotees and bhaktas, Neela Padma. 108 Neelam Padma. 108 blue lotus, which is very rare to have. And he asked Vibhishan, is there any way that I could get 108 blue lotus? And he says there's one place, a remote village, that you can get this flower. Who would go for these flowers? Anybody know? Today's Saturday, make a wild guess. Who is Ram Bhakta Pujari? Oh, you see that like, oh yeah, sure man. Who is the greatest devotee of Shri Ram? Hanumanji, my dear friends. Hanumanji immediately shows up before the Lord. Prabhu, I will go. How many of us, my dear friends, when we are placed in situations to serve God, we are great bhaktas of Hanuman. But when the opportunity comes to serve God, how many of us take the lesson from Hanumanji and grasp the opportunity to serve God, my dear friends? Instead, what we just do? 108 what? Not Neela Padmaino. 108 excuses. Why I should not go to the mandir to help. Why I should not go to the puja to help. Because I'm tired and I should take a sleep when I hear the last sanka who go in the puja. You know that, right? I remember yesterday going to puja. I can't remember if it was yesterday or today, but one of those days. And when I arrived to the puja, somebody said, Baba, I thought the puja done. I said, no, I come late because I know the time the people will start to come. Why? Because if you say 9 o'clock is the puja, they say by 10, half 10 puja done, I'll go 10:15. That is the time Baba bouncing together with your puja now start. Jai Bhagwan. But remember, I don't reach later. Nothing happens before it. Oh, you know that good. Jai Bhagwan. My dear friends and devotees, Hanumanji, we must be like Hanuman this evening. We must be like Hanumanji. And we must take every opportunity that we get to serve God, my dear friends. Sometimes we go to a puja and somebody say, help me turn the parasad now. You say, nah boy, my back hurting. But do you know if you go and turn the parasad, your back might fix? You ever thought about that? When you think you are helping somebody, you are actually helping who? Yourself. Hanumanji says, Lord, I will go. Have no fear. I am here. And Hanumanji, what he does first, he bows to the feet of Shri Ram and he says, my Lord, today by your darshan and by your blessing, I will reach safely to this village. I don't know where I'm going to know, but I will get these flowers. How many of us, when we have puja, many of people will have puja now. Many devotees sitting here, I know you have puja in the upcoming week. And how many of us don't know where to get gobar? How many of us will make an attempt to get it? Ita ha gobar no way, Baba. Jai Bhagwan. But the gobar they right in the next village, you know. Take 5 minutes of your time to go and get the gobar. But we make 108 excuses not to go. Isn't that so? But when Christmas time come and things scarce, you don't care if you have to go Port of Spain. You go in and all the traffic you go in. We must think and know what is most important in life. He says, Lord, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going with your blessing. When you don't know where to get something or find something, go with the blessing of God and God will guide you. God will guide you, my dear friends. And Hanumanji says, Lord, I go with your darshan. And while he's journeying, what he does? He praises Shri Ram. When you do not know in which direction to go in life, what should you do? Surrender to God and sing the praises of God, and God will guide you in the right direction. He begins to pray. Jai Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram Patita Pavana. He prays Rama Rama Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sita Ram Rama Rama Patita Pavana. Everybody, Jai Raghupati Raghava Patita Pavana. You see how you're singing? I'm sure you're going in the right direction. I feel this jug could go for the next 5-6 hours because are you singing good? Jai Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sita Ram 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 Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sita Ram 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 Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Jai Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sita Ram. This evening, my dear friends, I must say, you all are singing beautifully and loud enough. But one thing you are lacking. You see these hands? It is given to us to serve God. I know you all are a little bit close, but still use it to clap. And the person next to you not clapping, you're close enough to hit them what? One hunch. Eh? Everybody know what's a hunch? An elbow. Tonight? Rama Rama Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sita Ram 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 Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Jai Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sita Ram. सबको संग सन्मति रे भगवान, ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरे नाम सबको सन्मति रे भगवान, जय रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन. This evening, my dear friends, the bhajan says, Ishvara, Allah, Tere Naam, Sabako Sanmati, He Bhagavan. What the bhajan is teaching us? By whatever name you may call God, my dear friends, surrender and serve God. We have commenced our Navratri Vrat yesterday, and what commences tomorrow? The holy month of. And what is going on? The month of. And what does that teach you? And what does that teach me? That we must live in harmony and unity. God is sending a message to us. And how many of us are accepting that message and learning from it, my dear friends? Instead, we fight down who God is better than who God, and who God is greater than which God, and who's serving the correct God and the living God and the dead God. And God is showing you that this month, this period is auspicious for all faiths, my dear friends. And the bhajan says, ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरे नाम सबको सन्मति रे भगवान, ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरे नाम सबको सन्मति रे भगवान, जय रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन, सीताराम पतित पावन, सीताराम पतित पावन. बोले श्यामपति रामचंद्र की, श्यावर रामचंद्र की. Hanuman ji, going with the blessings of Shri Ram, he reaches that remote village. He sees that pond blue, my dear friends, and he remembers 108 Nil Padma, 108 blue lotus. And why he remembers that? He begins, each lotus he picks, Jai Shri Ram. Each lotus that he picks, Jai Shri Ram. How many of us, when we go to pick flowers for puja, every flower we pick, we chant Jai Shri Ram? Or within this period of Navratri, Jai Devi Ma. How many of us, when we go to pick the flowers, we complain the ants bite you in the exora patch? How many of us, when we go to pick the bay leaf, we complain the Pikachu here? How many of us complain the wife should go and pick the flowers? Every flower that he picks, he chants Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram. My dear friends, why he picks these flowers? He has 108. To himself, he thinks he has 108. And why he takes his flowers now and he returns to his Lord Shri Ram? Shri Ram, my dear friends, is very happy to have these flowers. Happy to have these flowers, my dear devotees and bhaktas. Shri Ram begins to make offerings to the Devi. It is the period of Navratri. It is the 6th night in the Navratri. And he invites the presence of the Devi at the seashore. Maya, I have no murti of you. I don't even know the correct mantras to chant to you, ma. But what I know, I come before you with love and with devotion. I come before you with love and devotion, O ma, to pray to you. Devi, may you accept my prayer. May you accept my worship. And he begins to offer these flowers to Chandi Mata. Durga Maya is also called Chandika or Chandi Maya. And he prays to Chandi Maya. And why is he prays to that divine Devi and making these wonderful offerings, concentrating on his vrat and his worship? He's offering these lotus. But he has his Japmala. Remember, Shri Ram always wears his Japmala. He has a couple Padma, a couple lotus again. A couple lotus again he has. But Shri Ram, my dear friends and devotees, Shri Ram, as he looks at the mala and he looks at the Padma, he realizes that, my dear devotees and bhaktas, he has one shot. Hanumanji picked 107. So having one shot, he says to himself that if I do not complete the 108th offering, the Devi will be disappointed. The Devi might not fulfill my desire. The Devi might not appear before me. The Devi mightn't come within this arrow to bring victory. Shri Ram, he remembers that as a little boy growing up, everybody will call him Kamala Naina. They will call him Kamala Naina, the one who has eyes beautiful as the rare blue lotus. So he says, if I have one lotus shot, I have two eyes. And Devi, I want to complete your vrat, so I will offer one of my eyes to you. He takes the arrow. And as he takes the arrow, he says, Ma, I do this to please you, Ma, so that you will bring victory. I will be able to save Sita, and I will be able to save Lanka, and I will be able to bring victory to your devotees. He holds the arrow in his hand, and as he holds the arrow, Om Chamundaye Vikchaye Namaha, Om Chamundaye Vikchaye Namaha. He offers the 107th lotus. Om Chamundaye Vikchaye Namaha. He holds the arrow and he faces the arrow to his eyes. And as he's bringing the arrow towards him, Om Chamundaye Vikchaye Namaha. And as the arrow reaches close to his eyes, my dear friends, the wave in the ocean begins to beat loudly. He pauses for a moment and he watches into the sea. And as he looks into the sea, my dear friends, the water begins to rise. Jai Durga, Jai Jai Durga, Jai Durga Jagadambe Durga Kali Ma, Jai Jai Jagadamba Tu Shirawali Ma, Ma Jai Ma, Ma Jai Ma, Ma Jai Ma, Ma Jai Ma, Jai Durga. Looks into the ocean, the water begins to raise. And as the water raises, my dear friend, he sees the image of the Devi being created. He sees the Divine Mother in Chandi form standing before him. She walks out of the water and she says, "O Ram, listen to me. I am pleased with your devotion. I am pleased with whatever you have offered to me." Why? Because it was offered with love, with devotion, with Shraddha, with faith, with Vishwas, with confidence. My dear friends, how many of us, when we go before the Devi to pray, we go with faith, we go with confidence, we go with love, we go with devotion. My dear devotees, she says, "O Ram, there is no need to offer that Kamala Naina, that beautiful eyes of yours, O Ram. I am pleased with your devotion. Instead, turn that arrow towards Ravana, and I will reside within this arrow, and I will bring his destruction and bring victory to you, Ram." Ram begins to praise the Divine Mother. Jai Durga, Jai Jai Durga, Jai Durga Jagadambe Durga Kali Ma, Jai Jai Jagadamba Tu Shirawali Ma, Ma Jai Ma, Ma Devi Ma, Ma Shakti Ma, Ma Mama. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Durga Rupina Samstita, Namasase, 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 Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Chandi Rupina Samstita, Shirawari Ma, Jai Jai Jagadamba Tu Shirawari Ma, Ma Devi Ma, Ma Ambe Ma, Ma Shakti Ma, Ma Ambe Ma, Ma Ambe Ma, Ma Durga Ma, Ma Ambe Ma, Ma Devi Ma, Ma Gauri Ma, Ma Chandi Ma. Ram, receiving the darshan of Devi, he now sees how powerful and how great that divine mother is. He takes the aura and what he does, he began to worship her on the 6th night. It is the 8th night where the Devi manifests herself before him. On the 8th night is called what? Which night? Durga? Oh Bhagwan. Durga? Say it with confidence, na? Durga Ashtami. How many of us, how many of you, when you call for Puja, or you ask for the 8th day? Everybody want the 8th day. Why? Because on the 8th day is when the Devi appeared before Shri Ram. It is the 8th day where Devi Maya told to Shri Ram, those who may not have worshipped me for whatever reason during the entire of Navratri, but worships me on the Ashtami Tithi, it is equivalent as though you have worshipped me for the 9 nights. Now, it doesn't mean out of laziness, don't worship the Devi. And worship on the 8th day, and it is equivalent. If it's because of laziness, Jai Bhagwan, you get through. But if it's because of work or your busy schedule, important schedule, then no problem. You will get that darshan. On the 10th day is when Ram released that arrow in the name of Devi, destroying Ravana. And that day is called Vijaya Dashami, the 10th day, the day of victory. That is the day where what happened? That is the day when we conclude our Devi Vrat, and where we offer our coconut in the fire, and where we receive victory from the Devi. During the course of our yajna, we will learn about that devotion and that Vrat, which is performed, and which is completed on the 10th day. What is the rituals that is done, and what are the benefits? This evening, my dear friends and devotees, as we terminate Katha, we journey to the final verses of Ramayana. Goswami Tulsidashi tells to us, Jaya Ram Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Jaya Ram Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Kalapadalatammiva paladam manogi pranamatiya satvamanatapati. Bolo Jai Ram Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Prabhu Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Bolo Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Siyapati Ramachandra ki. Goswami Tulsidashi says to us, grasp every opportunity that you get to worship the Divine Mother, and worship her how? Wholeheartedly. Because even the impossible becomes possible, my dear friends. And so, this evening, we grasp that opportunity as we conclude this evening's devotion, performing puja, performing our Havan offerings. At this time, my dear devotees and bhaktas, I invite you all to stand as we join in our Purna Mahuti. our Purnamahuti offering to the Divine Devi. As you hold this offering, Ma, may you accept this wonderful offering. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapalini Durgacha Mahashiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namo Satute. Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamhathaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Shanti Swaha. We offer Achman. Papaham Papa Karmaham Papa Atma Sambhava Trahimam Pundarikaksha Sabhyantaram Suche. We fan the fire. Vanaspati Rasura Bhutoyo Ganyuganyutamaha Agrahan Sarvadevanam Dupam Samarpayami. Let us all take blessing. Om Bhurvasvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodyatam. Buddhaya Chakaramma Mata Ki. We remain standing as you join the offering of the coconuts to the divine. Firstly, we take the coconut that is offered to Hanumanji. As we worship Hanuman Baba, we pray together. Let us all clasp our hands. Let us close the physical eyes. And let us worship Hanumanji today, receiving that beautiful blessing and wonderful darshan of Hanuman. The embodiment of strength, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Let us all pray. Om Lala Deha Lali Lase Arudhari Rana Langur Badra Deha Lana Vadalang Jai 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 Kapisur Yatra Yatra Raghunati Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kirtamas Viganchanam Vaspari Paripurna Lochanam Maruti Nityam Raksha Sankasham. Om Namo Hanumate Nama. Everybody. Om Namo Hanumate Namaha. Om Namo Hanumate Namaha. Bole Sri Pavan Putra Hanuman ki. Pavan Putra Hanuman ki. Jai 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 Hanuman Gosai Kripa Karo Guru Deva ki Nai. Jai 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 Hanuman Gosai Kripa Karo Guru Deva ki. Guru Deva ki Nai. Guru Deva ki Nai. Jai 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 Hanuman Gosai. Jai Jai Jai. Jai 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 Hanuman Gosai Kripa Karo Guru Deva ki Nai. Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya. Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Jai Jai Jai. Jai Jai Jaya Hanuman Gosai Kripa. Pavan Putra Hanuman ki. Behold the sacred coconut. We pray to Kal Bhairav Baba, the eighth Rudra of Lord Shiva. And once we pray to Kal Bhairav Baba, we pray for protection. Devi Bhagavatam teaches us, and Katha will teach us in the upcoming nights. Devi Puja is never completed until Kal Bhairav Baba is worshipped. Today we pray for protection. Om Hrim Barukaya Apadharanaya Guru Kuru Barukaya Hrim Om Namah Shivaya Chausat Yogani Bhavan Sivir Bahasara Se Bhairu Hrim Shring Durga Kavach Devutaya Namah Om Sri Bhairu Devutaya Namo Namaha. Bole Kal Bhairav Baba ki. Kal Bhairav Baba ki. Mero Bhairav Baba, Mero Bhairav Baba, Kali Mata Lale Kahai Re. Mero Bhairav Baba, Mero Bhairav Baba, Kali Mata Lale Kahai. Kali Mata Lale Kahai Re, Kahai Re, Kali Mata Lale Kahai Re. Mero Bhairav Baba, Mero Bhairav Baba. बाबा काली माता लाले कहाई। This evening, we take the third coconut as we worship Devi Maya today in the form of Brahmacharya Maya. Oma, हमें दया करो, हमें रक्षा करो, बारंबार नमस्कार करता हूँ मैया. May you accept his offering. May you bless all those riding in devotion this evening. May you bless their homes and families, we pray. Om Dum 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 Durga Dum 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 Durga Dum. जय जय जगदम्बा तू शिरवारी माँ, माँ जय माँ, माँ जय माँ, माँ देवी माँ, माँ अम्बे माँ. बोलो जय दुर्गे, जय जय दुर्गे, जय दुर्गे जगदम्बे दुर्गा काली माँ, जय जय जगदम्बा तू शिरवारी माँ. ओम चामुंडाई विच्चय नमः. Many devotees and bhaktas, at this time, whilst our main Shrota continues with Arti to our Murtis and the beautiful images of the Devis and Devtas, we invite you wonderful bhaktas and devotees who wish to come forward and offer your Arti. You can do so at this point in time. Grasp the opportunity to come, to worship, to pray to that divine Devi. Oh. सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी, तेरा पारन पाया, तेरा पारन पाया. बोलो सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी, तेरा पारन पाया, तेरा पारन पाया. So this evening, very orderly, we come forward and we perform our Arti and receive the blessing. Please do not crowd, our mandir is very small. So very orderly, the 8 people inside is given the first privilege, and the people who choose to sit outside and who came a little bit late will be given the opportunity a little bit later to come and to offer your Arti. पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल रे तेरे भीत चराया, रे तेरे भीत चराया. मंगल की सेवा सुनो मोरी देवा, आज जोर तेरे द्वारे परे. मंगल की सेवा जगदम्बा माता की. चामुंडाई विच्चय नमः. तिलक लगाया, केसरी तिलक लगाया। बोलो मंगल की सेवा सुनो मोरी देवा, हाथ जोड़ तेरे द्वारे परे, मंगल की सेवा सुनो मोरी देवा। बोलो काली भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो शक्ति भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो काली भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो शक्ति भवानी अम्बे, बोलो काली भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो काली, ओ बोलो काली भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो शक्ति भवानी अम्बे, देवी भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो देवी भवानी अम्बे माँ। ब्रह्मा वीर परे तेरे द्वारे, ब्रह्मा वीर परे तेरे द्वारे, शंकर ध्यान लगाया, ओ शंकर ध्यान लगाया। बोलो दुर्गा भवानी अम्बे, दुर्गा भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो दुर्गा भवानी अम्बे, ओ बोलो दुर्गा भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो दुर्गा, ओ बोलो दुर्गा भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो शक्ति भवानी, शक्ति भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो काली भवानी अम्बे। कलियुग द्वापर त्रेता मध्ये, ओ कलियुग द्वापर त्रेता मध्ये, कलियुग राज सभाया, ओ कलियुग राज सभाया। बोलो देवी भवानी अम्बे माँ, देवी भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो देवी भवानी, बोलो दुर्गा भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो दुर्गा, ओ बोलो दुर्गा भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो देवी भवानी अम्बे, देवी भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो देवी भवानी अम्बे माँ। धूप दीप नैवेद्य आरती, धूप दीप नैवेद्य आरती, मोहन भोग लगाया, ओ मोहन भोग लगाया। बोलो काली भवानी अम्बे, बोलो काली भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो काली भवानी, जगदम्बे माता की। धन्यो भगत मैया तेरे गुण गावे, धन्यो भगत मैया तेरे गुण गावे, मन वांछित फल पाया, ओ मन वांछित फल पाया। बोलो देवी भवानी अम्बे माँ, देवी भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो देवी भवानी अम्बे, बोलो देवी भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो देवी, ओ बोलो देवी भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो काली भवानी अम्बे माँ, अम्बा भवानी देवी माँ, बोलो देवी भवानी अम्बे, बोलो देवी भवानी अम्बे माँ, बोलो देवी भवानी। बम बोले हरे मोर मन कामना पूरा करे, बम बोले हरे मोर मन कामना पूरा करे, मोर मन कामना पूरा करे, मोर मन कामना पूरा करे। बम बोले हरे मोर मन कामना पूरा करे, बम बोले हरे मोर मन कामना पूरा करे। साथीदार, सबके रतवा बाबा दुआ, सबके रतवा बाबा दुआ। बम बोले हरे मोर मन कामना पूरा करे, बम बोले हरे मोर मन कामना पूरा करे, मोर मन कामना पूरा करे, मोर मन कामना पूरा करे। बम बोले हरे मोर मन कामना पूरा करे। ओ जगदम जगदम जगदम्बा देवी, देखो तुम्हारा शिव जोगी, जगदम जगदम जगदम्बा देवी, देखो तुम्हारा शिव जोगी। अरे देखो तुम्हारा शिव जोगी, देखो तुम्हारा शिव जोगी, जगदम जगदम जगदम्बा देवी, देखो तुम्हारा शिव जोगी। अम्बा अम्बा जय जगदम्बा, अम्बा अम्बा जय जगदम्बा, अम्बा अम्बा जय जगदम्बा। सुनो मेरे देवी पर्वतवासिनी, तेरा पारन। सुनो मेरी देवी माँ, may you listen to my prayer this evening from our hearts. Let us pray. सुनो मेरे देवी पर्वतवासिनी, तेरा पारन पाया ओ मैया जी, तेरा पारन पाया। One more time. सुनो मेरे देवी पर्वतवासिनी, तेरा पारन पाया मैया जी, तेरा पारन। ओम मंत्राहीनम क्रियाहीनम भक्तिहीनम जलार्णम, यत्पूजितं मया देव परिपूर्णं दरस्रमे। कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियेण वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृतिं सुभौतं करोमि यज्ञ सकलं परस्मै नारायणायते समर्पयामि। Together. त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या, त्वमेव सर्वं, त्वमेव सर्वं। Together. जगजननी जय जय, माँ जगजननी जय जय, भयभाविनी भवमामिनी, जगजननी जय जय, माँ जगजननी जय जय। With hands clasped together, turn to the person next to you as you say, Sitaram. शकबार कहो रे सीताराम, सीताराम सीताराम सीताराम। शकबार कहो रे सीताराम, सीताराम सीताराम सीताराम। This evening, as we bow to each other and we say Sitaram, we bow to the divinity within each other, my dear friend. Bhagavan is here, there, and everywhere. Shakabar kaho re Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Devi Ma, Devi Ma, Devi Ma. Shakti Ma, Shakti Ma, Shakti Ma. Durga Ma, Durga Ma, Durga Ma. Pure Gajanan Swami ki, उमापति महादेव की, आज शक्ति काल भैरव बाबा की, काली माता की, पवन हनुमान की, बोले जगदम्बा माता की, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय जय सीताराम. You may have respectful seats. Let me take this opportunity this evening to thank all devotees and bhaktas joining with us at the Mandir in devotion this evening. And also let me thank Bhai Kishan Ji and Media Concepts 29 for taking our devotion to the homes of many devotees throughout the world. To all those joining with us via our live stream, Bhagwan's blessings to each and every one of you. Let me also thank our shrotas this evening, Uncle Wayne and Auntie Doreen. May Devi Mata blessings be with you and your wonderful parivar. To our group members this evening, Devi Mata blessings to each and every one of you. Tomorrow evening, feel free to join with us for devotion and for another beautiful katha dedicated to the feet of Devi Ma. Those who wish to bring offerings of your pearl, your fruits, your mala, whatever your heart's desire to offer to the Devi, grasp the opportunity. Come prepared to make your offerings. And of course, we will make the offerings to Devi Ma. Those who wish to bring your coconut, whatever your heart desire, bring your love and let us offer and let us worship the Divine Mother within this period of the Navratri. Jai Sitaram, do stay. Arti will come your way. Panchamrit Prasad and Bhojan is prepared for each and everyone to take home and of course to enjoy. Until tomorrow, Jai Sitaram.
Say